Hello everyone, it's Karen here. I haven't participated in this in a while, but I love fall. I love everything you can do. Before I get started, I wanted to show you how I store stencils. A lot of people talk about it. This is Red Stencils, a friend of mine. So each side is decorated with a different stencil. And then I used to have them in little bitty envelopes telling what they were. But as you can see, I get lazy after a while and they go up front. So those are her stencils because they all fit in this box. The other way that I store them, I'm on Rebecca Bear's design team, and she makes her own stencils. A lot of them are 12 by 12. So I have these 12 by 12 bins that have lids, and so that's what I use for her and my Deco Art stencils, because they do come in 12 by 12, and that way they hold them very nicely. So today, to start off, I want to show you how to use stencils for your backgrounds. Now, one of my, the picture that we're going to do is pumpkins. And so I use two of Rebecca's stencils. I use this one, which is called, if I can read it, I'm not good about cleaning my stencils either. Sorry, Rebecca, I know you're watching. I'll have to put that in, Dragonfly Fantasy. And as you can see, there's a dragonfly in it. And I want to position this because in the picture, when I get done, I want a big pumpkin here, but I want this dragonfly like right over here in the corner. So you can position your stencil to cover wherever you want it to, okay? And then I'm going to use this little stencil, and it's called Cascade, and you'll be able to see that better. Here we go. Here we go. I'm going to do that around this outside border. So when you get started doing this, you want to tape off. I just eyeballed it because this is the inside. Then after it's dry, we'll retape and we'll stencil the outside of it. So for the inside, we're going to do a color. Then we're going to stencil on top with a different color. Then we'll let it dry, pull this off, and do the same thing to the edges. So, I'll be back. Hello everyone, it's Karen here, and we're doing the August fall theme, and I'm so glad that you joined me. I'm going to be showing you today how to use stencils for your background. I have taped off, I just eyeballed it, the center of the canvas, and I have applied a coat. Today I'm using Deco Art Traditions paints, and I have used so far medium green, light green, and hands of yellow, and of course titanium white to create this right here. Now, another very important thing, I get my stenciling brushes from Rebecca Bear. She designed these brushes. This is the best stencil brush I have ever used. The way she created it, and the way that the bristles and stuff are not just side by side, but they're in and out, in and out, in and out, and they're compressed tightly. And so I've used this brush many times. It cleans out very well. I do use Deco Art's brush cleaner to keep it clean and supple, and it just moves really good. I'm using her Dragonfly Fantasy stencil today, and normally I use it like this, but today I'm flipping it because I want this dragonfly up here in the corner. I'm going to have pumpkins down here, and I want this up here in this corner like this because I want that dragonfly to be easily visible, okay? My paint hasn't quite dry. I'm going to come back in now and stencil with some of this medium white and some of the medium green. We're going to try to get the edges green, and then here in the center I want to bring it out lighter, okay? And I don't want that hole right there, so we'll come back and we'll stencil. Once I get this on here, my dragonfly, we'll come back and stencil, move the stencil after we've stenciled a little bit, okay? So for my palette, she does sell these very nice palette things. I use them over and over. Once my paint dries, I just keep on using it. And the main, you can just, it doesn't take much paint at all. And I just start swirling it around right here. And this brush just automatically goes into the edges and stuff because of the way she's designed it. I will leave a link to her shop below, because you're going to want to get you one of these stencil brushes. I tell you, if you do much stenciling at all, and I am a stencil freak. I love stencils. I use them on cards, my mixed media projects, my paintings for my backgrounds, which is what we're doing today. They're just so versatile to use. I've even used them on t-shirts to stencil. You have to use fabric paint. I want to make this darker up here, so even if you glob it on, this brush is just so good. You know, some of the stencilers, when you stencil, the stencil brushes will get up underneath the stencil, but her brushes just don't do that. When I pull this up, you're going to see. I do want the edges darker here. I almost hate to cover up the background because I was really liking how it was turning out, but you know, this is all about layering. We have to layer. Layer, layer, layer. I want to blend my colors in, because you're not going to see a lot of the background much further down, because our pumpkins are going to be coming in here. Alright, so look at that effect. Didn't that just turn out great? You can see that, see my dragonfly and everything. Now I don't like that hole, so I'm going to come back, and you can just turn your stencil. I don't want to cover up anything. And we'll come back with this. And stencil right in here inside that circle. We're going to have vines and stuff coming out, so you're not really going to be able to even see most of it, okay? So don't get upset or anything. That's the worst thing, is just waiting for paint to dry. So I'm going to go off camera, finish stenciling this up, and get my sides taped up, and I'll be back. Well, I'm back. I have finished the multiple layers of this background. I will, once I get my pumpkin in, I'll probably take some metallic luster and go back over this. I had put down a coat of burnt umber. Then I went back with my stencil and did true gold. Well, it was just way too dark and way too gold, and so then I went back with the same stencil, but I only used the curlicues in white. Well, then it was still just too dark or something, so I did a whitewash of white. Then it was too white. Isn't that the way of mixed media? I mean, we just keep going on and on and on, and until we finally get what we like. So that's why it's hard for me to get my artistic creation on tape, because I keep trying different things until I like it. So then I wanted a dark edge right here, so I used just the very edge of the stencil that was kind of rough and just laid it down and just took a brush and kind of went around the edge of it. I didn't tape it off again or anything. And then to tie that in, I just took my flat brush, you can take any big flat brush, and just knock the edges like this with some the darker green and black mixed to kind of frame it out. So I'm pretty happy with that, except this is just too dull. So what I'll do, the metallic lusters are great for that, so I will show you in the end like how to do that. Alright, so it's time to draw our image on here. Now what I use this white general charcoal, because this comes off after we do it. So I'm going to try doing like 3. I don't want it to go all the way up to my dragonfly that I purposely left there, that I'll probably highlight with some metallic lusters later. But and I got another dragonfly right here too, so that part turned out good. But ignore your outline, because sometimes it's good to just go over the outline. I kind of want my pumpkin about this big, so I'm going to kind of start with my, and then you're just going to trace it out like this is usually what I do. So I just kind of start with my center here, and then you want to come out from it, bring it back, well, bring it back down. We got to form a base, and then from the back side, we're going to bring our last thing. So then we have another one coming right here, and then because you've got your the top of this is going to come off like this. So something like that. So the chalk really helps you to see where you're going with this. I'm not going to have room for 3, I guess. I'm going to do another one like right here maybe. Put the center right here. A smaller pumpkin. And then this one's going to be in the front of the other one, so I'm coming all the way into that pumpkin, because this pumpkin's going to be in front of that pumpkin, okay? And this pumpkin's going to come off the edge. We're going to have some leaves coming off the edge as well, like that. Then we'll have a leaf like coming like here. And that's another reason why I don't want to do anything to this yet until I see like how far out my leaves are going to come. So it'll come out like this. And maybe some vines and stuff around here. Okay? So I'm going to paint that in. Now normally what I do is I block it in with white first. Then whatever color you want to use won't interfere with your background color. But I kind of want some of this to show through, so I'm not going to do the white first because I don't want to block it out. I'm going to start with my oranges and then just come on, and I'll probably be using this same vermilion, hands of yellow, and maybe some of this Indian yellow. They're very pretty colors for fall, aren't they? But anyway, once I get done with that, I'll be back.